What's going on, everyone? So, the NBA trade deadline is officially over, and unfortunately, the Lakers didn't make another move, but that's just like the rich getting richer, right? It's like, the beggars can't be choosers. I would have liked to see the Lakers drop under the first apron, or at least turn Maxi Kleber into like maybe another center. Couldn't have gotten like a Dorian Sharp or something. But the Lakers are in very good position, right? Obviously, got Luka. That was the huge acquisition, the huge pickup, the huge, wow, this really just happened. Mark Williams was another one of those, and on pause, timeout, this really just happened, right? You got your franchise center, you got your franchise point guard for the next 10 years. Right? You couldn't be in a better position, better shape. Credit Rob Pelinka, right? I mean, he really did a great job of revamping and structuring and kind of really, it's a rebuild on the fly. But it was a rebuild that's still good enough to win an NBA championship, right? Question is, can they actually win an NBA championship? Are they a contender? I'm going to do a full breakdown video on whether they can be a contender and kind of the pros and cons. So look forward to that video. But I definitely think that they can be, right? A couple things we need to see, a couple things that need to kind of be worked out. But the big question is, okay, you got Luka. You got Dorian Finney-Smith, which I think is huge for Luka. You can see that. I mean, they were best friends in Dallas, right? They even when Dorian Finney-Smith got traded, they were still talking all the time, making jokes with each other. You see the relationship, you see the friendship, the brotherhood. I think that was huge for Luka. And Dorian Finney-Smith is our in to keep Luka to stay, right? I'm not really worried about him leaving, but it's nice to have that kind of ace in the hole, right? Hey man, come on, let's do this together. Let's win a championship together, right? Type thing. So I think that's a really good position for the Lakers to be in that regard. And then, of course, Mark Williams gives you that big physical interior presence that can rebound, shoot a little bit, right? Good free throw shooter. Him slotted alongside LeBron, Austin Reeves, and Luka are just, it's going to be tough. I can't wait. I'm so excited for that. And then all the other pieces, right? Again, it's unfortunate we weren't able to get off of Maxi Kleber, but he's a really good player. He's just got to get healthy. So he's going to be reevaluated in 8 weeks, but we'll see if he actually gets back, right? Just because he's being reevaluated doesn't mean he'll actually return in 8 weeks. So that's something to keep in mind. But if he can get right, and we can kind of get him added in, a month before playoffs, maybe get him integrated a little bit, he gives us a completely different look from our other centers, right? He gives us that the floor spacing, guy that has familiarity with Luka, right? There's some chemistry there. I like him better than Jackson Hayes. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind if he could get healthy, kind of taking on the Jackson Hayes role in the rotation personally. But he's a guy you could also play at the four, so you could go big at times, right? Put you in some great space. Same thing with Christian Wood. If Christian Wood come back and get healthy, right, just gives you another sizable forward center that, just gives you different looks, right? That's what it's about, getting the different looks for the Lakers. But then, getting a Shake Milton, I think, can really help. Markieff Morris, another 6'9", versatile forward. I know he's not what he was in 2020 when we got him, but he also, he was better for us in 2020 than he was probably ever, right? So it's very different when you're playing alongside LeBron and now Luka and guys like that. So don't be shocked if Markieff Morris is actually pretty solid. I don't know how many minutes and stuff he's going to get, but don't be surprised if it's wow, he's still got gas in the tank, right? It's pretty good. But obviously, Lakers didn't make another move. Again, I'm fine with it. I think we're good. Another move is coming, regardless, because the Lakers were able to free up a roster spot and have enough money to sign a player off of the buyout market. So bare minimum, we're getting at least one more guy. Question becomes, who is that guy? What is that guy? Now, as far as the buyout market goes, I might actually make a video breaking this down because not everyone watches 4 minutes in. So look forward to that video too, because I just get a lot of questions about this, right? And we're approaching the buyout market now. There's going to be a lot of guys that are going to get bought out and waived and all kinds of stuff. We cannot sign anybody making more than $12.8 million, right? So if you're making more than $12.8 million, or you're a guy that you want, right? Because I see it all the time. Oh, Bruce Brown, this guy, that guy. Okay, that's great. If they're making over $12.8 million, forget about it, right? So anybody making over $12.8 million. So you're looking at cheaper options. Again, there's a couple guys right now that are available. I mean, I think the Lakers will be patient, kind of see who ends up getting bought out, see who ends up becoming available. But if worst case scenario, we got like a Torrey Craig or a Chris Dort, perfect. I'm okay with that. I think that's a guy that come in. At this point, you're looking, you got your basic 8, 9 guys locked up, ready to go. You're just looking for kind of that other guy that come in, fill a hole, fill a need. Ideally, like the Max Christie role, which I think Gabe Vincent's probably going to take on, just because, Luka, LeBron, and Reeves are going to be your primary ball handlers. So I think Gabe Vincent's going to obviously he doesn't have the size, but he has the defense, and he has been shooting the ball very well. So look out for Gabe to kind of be your 2, right? And especially alongside like a guy like Luka, you still have the size. So it's just going to be, can like Luka buy in? But from here, it's just about establishing chemistry. It's about building the camaraderie, right, of this team. Luka and LeBron kind of figuring some stuff out. Don't be surprised if there's a little bit of a learning curve, right? Not saying for sure that there will. They might come in and match made in heaven. LeBron's the one that's really going to have to sacrifice, right? You let Luka be Luka, and if you're LeBron, you kind of, because this is what LeBron's been begging for. This is what LeBron's been asking for, right? So to me, it's one of those things where if LeBron can really make the sacrifice and they can figure it out and make it work, watch out. Lakers are going to be tough. But don't be surprised if there's a little bit of a learning curve. Don't be surprised if they lose a couple games that they would have probably won otherwise, right? Now, again, they have enough talent to where they might just win anyway, but it might be a little awkward. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen those games even from the Lakers this year where it's like, they probably should have lost that game, right? Like, it was just like, they weren't very good. I don't know how they pulled that off. Like, I could see a couple of those games where it's just like, ooh, like, Luka and LeBron did not look very good this game, working off of each other, but they're Luka and LeBron, so they figured out how to win it, right? Like, so I think that's definitely something to kind of keep an eye on. But beyond that, we still have moves and flexibility in the offseason now, which is good, right? Because if you win the championship, right, well, now you can go and do what you need to do to kind of trim around the edges or fill in some holes that maybe you had in the playoffs that you noticed and recognized. If you don't, Lakers are probably really close, and now you can make moves. So Lakers would still have 2 pick swaps and a second minimum going into the offseason, so they still could make some moves. They still can make some trades, still have things in, next trade deadline, plus whatever else opens up and frees up for them. They're like 2 years away from getting and opening up another tradable first, but again, like I said, they have the pick swaps and stuff like that, so Lakers do have some flexibility in that regard. And you always again, creativity, but the biggest thing too is Lakers will have several expiring contracts. Maxi Kleber, Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura. I mean, you have essentially $40 million in expiring contracts, and we saw this past trade deadline, those have value and a lot of value. I mean, teams were swapping guys without assets. Teams were giving up assets in order to get off of certain guys. Right? I mean, the Grizzlies traded Marcus Smart and a first. They gave up. They didn't get a first like they wanted. They gave up a first just to get off of them. Right? So, again, expiring contracts are very valuable, very important. So don't be surprised if it's like, oh, how are the Lakers going to get that guy? They don't have any firsts. Well, they might not need it, right? They're going to have a bunch of expiring contracts, and that team might just want to, get off of the salary, right? Like, that's a big thing. So we'll see. Obviously, we're a long way away from that. But for now, it's focusing on the now. It's building that chemistry. It's working towards the common goal of trying to hoist that Larry O'Brien trophy. Lakers are going to be very good. Lakers are already 10 games over 500. They're already the 5 seed. They essentially have the 5th seed locked up. It's just up to them to keep pace, right? But this is a team that the upside of this team is higher than the previous version, right? Talked about this before. Best version of Anthony Davis is probably the best player in the league by a good margin. I mean, you're talking about a guy that will get you 40, 20, completely dominate the game on both sides of the basketball and get you, 5 stocks and just completely win you a game, right? But those are kind of few and far between. He's still, even on a normal night, pedestrian night, he's still, a 25, 12, 3-2 guy, right? But you have the guy now, Mark Williams, that fits the role perfectly for what you need is that interior presence. Luka and his upside, particularly come playoff time for what he can do, is higher than what this would be with Anthony Davis. Now, if you got Anthony Davis and Mark Williams, right, depending on what the other trades do. Because if you don't get Luka, what do the other trades do? But I'm just going off of Luka and LeBron and the team that was the 5th seed before all these other trades. This version, in my opinion, that we have is higher ceiling-wise than that version, personally. Right? It's not a knock and say Anthony Davis is still a top 10 player. But Luka is anywhere from the 2nd to 5th best player at worst. I don't even think he's the 5th, probably the 3rd or 4th, right, at worst. Right? So the upside is higher, and the consistency, particularly come playoff time, is higher. Right? Because Anthony Davis, although this last playoff series he was fantastic, but we've seen in the playoffs him kind of waver at times. He'll have a game where you're just like, there he is, there's the guy. And then he'll have a game where he's just like, dude, AD, are you going to show up ever, right? Like, so it's just kind of things to keep in mind. But look forward to the buyout market, look forward to building chemistry, look forward to this team being very good. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Are you disappointed they didn't make another move, right? You kind of like, hey, again, like rich getting richer, beggars can't be choosers type thing. I would feel whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos. I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.